shoemaker and his wife, snowstorms had kept everyone indoors for weeks, so no one could buy any shoes. The shoemaker had little money for food, and he had only enough leather to make one more pair of shoes. His wife asked, "What do we do? The cupboards are bare, and we have no firewood. Even our last candle has almost burned away." Her voice was gentle. She knew her husband worked hard for what little they had. There she is, there he is, there's the leather, and there's the last candle burning away. The shoemaker looked lovingly at his wife. "We must not worry," he said. "Things will work out for us. You'll see, I will finish these shoes tomorrow, and someone will buy them." He cut out the leather and then went to bed. The shoemaker would finish working first thing in the morning. When the shoemaker woke up early the next morning, the whole house was cold. His body shivered, and he was very tired. The shoemaker went to his workbench, rubbing his tired eyes. When he looked down, the shoemaker thought he would find the pieces of leather, just as he had left them. What he saw instead made him rub his eyes again. A finished pair of shoes were on the workbench. The shoemaker ran his hands over the shoes. Sure enough, they were made from the very same leather that he had cut the previous night. The shoes were very beautiful. The shoemaker admired the tight, even stitching, the placement of the bows, and the silky shine of leather. He could not have made better shoes himself. The shoemaker called to his wife. She was just as amazed as he was. "Who could have made these shoes?" she asked. "There he is. The shoes." "Listen, I'm sorry, but these shoes are ugly." To me, I don't think they look very good, but you know, times were different when this book came out, or whenever this story came out. I forgot they would do anyway. The shoemaker and his wife did not know who had given them such a wonderful gift. They did know that the shoes were worth a lot and would bring a good price. "What a great day," said the shoemaker. "We have a pair of shoes to sell, and the weather is finally clear. Maybe our luck will continue, and someone will buy these shoes." At that moment, there was a knock on the shop door. It was a traveler who had seen the shoemaker's sign. "I work for the king," he explained. "I have been traveling throughout the countryside. My travels have worn holes in my shoes. I was hoping that I could buy a pair for you, from you." "You've come on the right day," answered the shoemaker. "I have a fine pair of shoes right here." The shoemaker showed the beautiful shoes to the traveler. "Those are indeed lovely," he said, "and you are an excellent craftsman." The traveler tried on the new shoes. They fit his feet perfectly. Not suspicious at all. He walked around the shop for a few moments and said, "These are the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn." Then he gave the shoemaker a shiny gold coin to pay for them. "Listen, that's lucky that it fit them right. They only had one pair of shoes. I could have socked it." The shoes match him very well. The shoes, so beautiful shoes. King's traveling edges. Yeah, no, he just works for the king, and he's traveling anyway for this dude. They fit him placed them on his workbench. The next morning, he found 2 more pairs of shoes finished, and they were just as good as the first pair. Within hours, the shoemaker sold both pairs of shoes and bought more leather. The next day, there were 4 pairs of shoes waiting on the workbench. This continued for many nights until the shoemaker's shelves were filled with beautiful shoes like no one had ever seen before. Yeah, definitely no one had ever seen before. Life soon changed for the shoemaker. Now, he and his wife always had wood for their fire and food to eat. The shoemaker bought better tools, lots of leather, and the best brass knuckles. Best brass buckles. He bought his wife an oil lamp, a new blanket, and a lace cap. Now, when I said shoes like no one had ever seen before, this is what I mean. I'm sorry. What the hell is that? What are these? What are these? Anyway, there's all the shoes. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, the shoemaker was always kind to the people who traveled from all over the kingdom to buy his shoes. He could have charged high prices, but instead he charged just enough to live a comfortable life. Modest man. Word of the shoemaker's fine shoes soon made him the most popular shoemaker in the land. But something still bothered the shoemaker. One evening he said to his wife, "Every night while we are tucked in our beds, someone is working hard. Is working hard to help us. It's a shame we don't even know who it is. Why don't we stay up and find out?" That night, the shoemaker cut the leather into pieces and placed them on his workbench. Just like always, he turned down the oil lamp and left the room. But instead of going to bed, he and his wife hid in the doorway. The moon rose and filled the room with silver light. Soon, something was moving on the workbench. 2 elves were there. They stood just a few inches tall, no taller than the shoe they were sewing. The elves began to work, helping each other handle the leather and tools. There they go. Creating another very interesting pair of shoes. These ones are fine. I'll give them these. The clothing of the elves was old and worn, which made the shoemaker and his wife sad. The elves wore thin, torn pants and shirts that were ripped and covered with patches. They were making shoes, but they didn't have any for themselves. They must have been cold, but their cheery faces and busy hands didn't show it. The couple tiptoed off to bed, leaving the elves to do their work. The next morning, the shoemaker and his wife looked at the newly made shoes that were on the workbench, and they thought about the elves. Did you see how quickly those little fellows worked together, and how carefully they placed each stitch? Asked the shoemaker. His wife frowned and said, "I only saw their poor clothing and bare feet. Clearly, they are in great need." Her husband agreed and said, "I have an idea. We will we will make those little elves the clothes they need. They're so tiny. It'll be easy for me to make some fine shoes for them." His wife clapped her hands. "Yes, and I will use a bit of my wool shawl and a corner from our blanket to make proper pants and coats." There she is making a little baby sock. And he's over there cutting out teeny tiny leather soles. How kind, how kind. The shoemaker and his wife made 2 tiny suits of clothing and 2 pairs of shoes. That evening, instead of leaving pieces of leather on the bench, elves magically appeared at midnight. They climbed upon the workbench and then stopped in their tracks. "What is this? What is this?" asked one in a little voice. "Where are the pieces of leather and the tools?" asked the other. Suddenly, both elves saw the two tiny suits. Their little faces brightened and they shouted gleefully. At once they put on the fine new suits and shoes. They were so excited they began to dance and sing. "What airy little elves we are. These fine clothes fit us perfectly. Who would be so kind? We wish we knew. We'd like to give our thanks to you." The shoemaker and his wife were so pleased they could hardly keep themselves from cheering. Look at them. They're so happy. Happy. When I was a kid, like really little, when my mom would read this, I used to think these elves were cute. And not like, oh, they're so cute. Like, oh, they're cute. To be fair, I was like 8 anyway. Weeks passed and the shoemaker's shop was always filled with people. He still offered the finest shoes in the land, and people from all around wanted a pair. Even the king had bought 20 of his loveliest shoes. With the great success of their shop, the shoemaker and his wife lived very comfortably. One thing had changed though. The elves had not come back since the night they received their new suits of clothes and shoes. The shoemaker and his wife did not mind. "Ah, wife," said the shoemaker, "I enjoy my work and I am happy to be back at this workbench. We should be grateful to those elves." "That is true, dear," answered his wife. "The elves worked so hard for us and were so nice to us. I'm just glad we were able to help them in return." In the evenings, while the shoemaker cut leather at his bench and his wife baked bread, they thought about the two elves. Because of their kindness and hard work, the shoemaker